Okay.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
It must be. This is the greatest and the kindest arrangement the atoms had in them.
Indeed. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. Elysium. It does. There are those who would call it hell. A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists. Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona. Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be. They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
Ma'am, Remember, you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer who is still recovering from a recent medical episode.
The lieutenant's right. Let's change topics. What do you want to know? Anything.
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside. Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Fine.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant. Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
There's a slippery article in there.
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference. Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
This is real stuff or what? I can't tell.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. some degraded early memories.
Up to my gills, officer. Entreponetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
There are signs of pretermodern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely. Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, Detective? Oh no, Detective. It's not. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same. Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think of the Pale? You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now? But I did, anyway.
Damn it, you're a grown man, the lieutenant thinks. Shouldn't have gotten protective hair.
Oh.
Good luck, detectives.
Yes. I don't know what to make of that. Like, is that real? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Right, well, I need to go talk to Harry Dubois. No, that's me. Who was it? I have something cooking, right? Yeah. I removed Hobocop, which I'm slightly regretting, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, I hope at least. Let's save real quick. The way Kim reacts to it sounds like it is a real thing, and that is very terrifying. Ugh.
Mr. Dubois, the word in Martinez is a certain police officer is once again happily reunited with his service weapon. Congratulations, my friend.
Right, I forgot to update to
I
you about
prefer my
that.
police officers old-fashioned like that, with a gun. You can do so many things with a gun that you can't do without one. Now, what can I help you with? What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any jolly fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
I'm not sure what that actually did. Doesn't seem to have done much. Should try it again. Since we're here.
container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. And, as it's always been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric. Maybe you're losing your mind.
I'll come back for you. I will. I guess we can do that first. No, wait. Actually, we should follow the map. It's easier. Okay. So I think I saw he's still here. Indeed. I'm sure this also gives me a spirit cup, so yeah, exactly.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality? That's exactly right. Down to a fraction. No, not really. Okay, that's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. Somewhere good. Okay. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? No, because in this thought experiment, we're all police officers.
Come on, stop it.
You're not going to believe this, but police officers, yes sir, solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lang. Oh, it's you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by the sunglassed man. Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
Oh no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness. Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right? There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at, but still. Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true.
Again? I can't believe this shit. I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. Okay?
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again.
Yes? What is it?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once for...
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were.
Okay.
Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height with nothing, just black tangles like the hair of an old woman, motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn, nor does the light come in from this window. There's a little slide panel up. One can't see into the union box from the yard outside. That hawthorn is too thick.
I'm not sure when is the time.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of here, face!
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I squeal. Murder was the case they gave me. I'll die before I squeal. You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands blood.
You can still see the top of her hat from behind.
I'll die before I squeal.
The door has braved the elements for decades. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place. Someone is moving around in the apartment. You hear the water being turned off and the sound of dishes clinking together. As you turn to leave,
We should leave. There must be another way into the building.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
there, working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Where?
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit. There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found. Right.
What am I looking at? What woman? She's not there.
our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror.
Well,
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly.
ugh. You look terrible. Ugh. Somehow makes your face worse.
They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold bath. The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe.
Can you grow it back? Oh god. Oh my god. I don't wanna be seeing that all day. What do you think, Kim?
Yes?
So?
Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps,
I don't know what to say.
I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a
I
better idea.
agree,
They
Kim.
sort of seem to cover up some of the...
Damage. Yeah, damage. He means damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying?
Can I grow it? Can I grow it back? No, you were right. I did think it was a bad idea. I just wanted to try it. Please grow it back. I think it's over here. Oh shit. Kim loves me for me, guys. And I should have bloody listened. Never mind.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall.
Oh
There are
god.
many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet, no sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Droplets of rain fall on the wooden planks, the surrounding sand dunes. The clouds block out any rays of light. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains. The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one? The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces.
Remember what Trent Heidelstein said about Veld?
Another likely scenario.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe...
Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant.
Yeah.
The superior giving the orders.
I figured.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Okay, 1 second. Go get snack. Go get snack. Oh. Oh yeah. Okay.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall.
Wait, I know what's up
With
there.
another 7 shades, a cold...
How much can you talk about that to your son?
Yes, what is it?
Okay, I'll come back whenever more, I guess. Although, maybe I should increase my logic finally. I can do it twice. Do I want to do it twice? I'm not sure. Any more logic stuff? There you go.
Yes, what is it?
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago. These thoughts formed in you somewhere, in a long-forgotten discussion, behind a kitchen table, in the evening light.
What? But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. The lieutenant's, too. He takes his glasses off.
Then what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
Then the pale is... But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the pale is not. I understand. A theory of the pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes, like a cancer or a mole, erupting in points inside the world. According to this, how long... And information, causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM...
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Of course! A pine wood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers. I have considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development? I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them. You mean Plaisance and the Dice Maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up. Then go tell them.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthropometric scientists.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
Man, you will certainly sound mad.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space. I wouldn't go so far as to...
Yeah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!
Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthropomedic detection to perform in this district.
I did not realize it's gonna be... What do you even call this? Supernatural, I guess? Okay, genuinely don't know what to do with that. Okay, I'll have to go find a some kind of radio. I remember seeing a radio somewhere, I just don't know where.
What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes. Don't forget another video. Last night I tweeted I slick. What recent news topic tweets videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Oh yeah, we got 2 videos back to back. I'm officially back. Bro, you guys remember Pokemon Go?
Everything's still
The
cool
game that
here,
basically
officer.
gave us world peace, okay? And all of us were playing, waking up at 2 a.m. to catch a Snorlax that was
The
basically
speakers
sitting around
below
the corner,
are
2
banged up
blocks away.
and
You guys
worthless.
done walked.
The sneakers triumph over them.
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk. Well, if you want them, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too.
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
Just to go catch a Snorlax. Well, congratulations. We've been used by Pokemon and Niantic to create a real-world AI delivery system, okay? We were basically those Google cars that drive around everywhere to get us to Google Maps. That was us, okay? They were using us to basically map out the entire freaking world. Niantic, that's the company behind Pokemon, revealed its 30 billion player-submitted AR images from Pokemon Go, collected since 2020 through optional field research tasks at Pokestops. This geotagged library trains the visual positioning system, allowing Coco Robotics delivery bots navigate sidewalks in cities like LA and Miami with centimeter accuracy using just cameras. Niantic Spatial CEO John Henke noted that overlap, placing Pikachu in AR and steering safe robots, solves the same positioning puzzle. I don't even know if that's its name. Some praise the crowdsourced innovation, while others see it as players unknowingly fueling robot mapping without pay. That's right. And now I believe when you all play the game, there's a whole bunch of like TOSs that usually not sign. To be honest, and those TOSs, when you play games like Pokemon Go or whatever, they can put in there somewhere where like, if you sign this, you will die, right? You know, it'll be something terrible. You know, and people are like, well, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna sign. We just don't read. We don't have the time. You know what? I think actually, honestly, pause. I think there needs to be some type of like important TOS
I don't remember.
items things, right? Like no one has the time to read like 50 pages of TOS, and they can put in one little line. By the way, if you sign this, you die. Or by the way, we get your house. Like, bro, that's gotta be predatory. There's gotta be something like that.
So the Pokemon Go era wasn't a collective mental breakdown. It wasn't an unpaid
Is that supposed to be Eevee? What the hell did they do to my Eevee? That's not. Wait a minute. There's no way that AI creates. So they have this whole thing that's been created with AI. That Pikachu photo. Isn't that Jiggly? That's absolutely disgusting AI. More on that one later, guys. I don't know if you heard about the video. Oh my god, AI. These people are trying to destroy. This is Eevee. Wearing a Pikachu hoodie. No, this is not the real Pikachu. It's just the Pikachu here. Eevee's a huge fan of Pikachu, okay? And Eevee's Pokemon. That's crazy what they did to my boy.
Every single person who wandered into a cemetery at midnight, walked into a lamppost, or stood in the rain outside the Walgreens for 20 minutes, trying to catch a Snorlax was actually doing data entry for the robot economy.
Okay, first of all, she was a Pokemon fan. She knows about Snorlax. We all know about Snorlax. I didn't watch this before that, but they made Snorlax reference as well. What are these things? I get that this Pikachu. What the hell are these other things?
Oh, is this a radio?
What do you mean?
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounges, and other semi-public spaces all over the world.
There's usually a little switch somewhere. Ah yes, it's the one that says release.
The lock disengages with a nice click.
Okay.
You may now
Pikachu
safely
with
remove.
wings?
There's nothing obviously remarkable about it.
What the-
It's about the
Bulbasaur?
size of a
What is
common
these-
pasta
what
box
are these
with knobs
contraptions?
of molded plastic.
Every Hawkstone
What else is there to
photo,
say?
every IR
If this
session,
transceiver
every
were
I
a
need to
person,
physically walk
it
to
would
this
be an
location
accountant
moment
at a
has
large
been
logistics
quietly
firm.
stacking up into the
Perfectly
most detailed
competent,
street-level
but
data sets.
This
unexceptional.
gotta be fake. This gotta be fake. This gotta be cat. This gotta be cat. We were just talking about yesterday.
Oh, that
about
meme.
news that can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real. Right? What is going on? None of these Pokemon exist. What is happening? Another freaking stupid looking Eevee. Okay, pause. Okay, pause. I'm questioning. I question everything on the news. I'm questioning this now. Why'd y'all send me this clip? Okay, let me figure out. Let me figure this out. Apparently the source comes from a place called News Force, okay? And they basically kind of repeat what we've already been talking about, like in the summary. The company's now using
I'm
that
sure
data
the
to power
transceiver
visual
understands,
navigation
detective.
for delivery
Now
robots,
let's
letting them
go.
identify exact locations on city streets without relying
It's
on
true.
GPS.
The
okay?
transceiver
it was
appears
free.
quite
I
forgiving.
mean, I guess if they're using it for good.
You've surprised me more than once
Question
during the
mark?
course of our
Question
investigation.
mark. This person
But I
here
have
with
to
over
say, it still
100,000
seems like
likes
a
said this
remote
is wild.
scenario.
143 million people
With
thought
its
they were
transceiver
catching
gone,
Pokemon,
the
but
radio
they
has
were
ceased
actually
its
building
persistent
one of the
buzzing.
largest real-world
It did.
visual data sets in AI history. Niantic collected this systematically, data point by data point across 8 years, while users thought the only thing at stake was catching a rare Charizard. The most valuable AI training data sets in the world weren't being assembled in data centers, they're being built by people who are quite Congratulations to all of us. I'm pretty sure every single one of you watching this video played Pokemon Go. Congratulations, we played ourselves. So yeah, I guess the question is what happens now? Is Niantic going to use this for nefarious purposes? They're using it apparently to do drop-offs, okay, delivery systems, so they can have like drones probably drop things off at your house. Maybe get replaced with Amazon. Who freaking knows? Okay, all I know is that dystopian future, here we are. We've been creating our own dystopian future 8 years ago without even knowing. And also, this should serve as a lesson. I've been trying to tell you guys, okay? Well, some people were wondering if I've been going to like some conspiracy routes when I talk about like the system and corporations and how they're using us, how they're social engineering all of the apps and the programs everywhere to tap into your dopamine and hijack your brain, okay? Like people are like, question mark? I'm dead.
Yes, what is it?
Serious, bro.
No.
I have a business major. I have
Yes.
worked for
No.
and audited
You're right.
companies that make
Ah,
over $1
very
billion.
good.
I
Let's
know
see what you
exactly
have.
what goes on in the back line. The
Not
idea is
the
that
most
you are the
advanced
product and
model,
the question
but at
in the
least
capitalist
everything
society,
appears
bro,
to be
is
in
how
order.
to extract as much
Yes,
from you
this should serve our
with
purposes.
you not knowing that you are being extracted
No
from.
further
okay?
comment
I'm just-
necessary.
Come on.
I
stick
believe
with
that
me.
means
Okay,
we're ready
and
to get
yes, we
started.
have another Pokemon clip
I
that is
should
trending
warn
online.
you,
I swear.
once we
I
begin
swear.
setting up
Once
this antenna,
every 1
we'll
week
need
or
to
2
see the
weeks
whole
or so,
process
there's just
through.
some clip
There
that
won't be
comes
any
out
second
with
chances,
Pokemon, and then
any
literally-
do-overs.
literally.
You understand?
So what, 30,000, 40,000, 50, she just gets done.
So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart,
And I'm always like,
I suggest
usually
you
wanna
do it
scroll
now.
past it and like, I don't really care. But I'm like, what did she say to make so many people mad? Bro, I'm always like, what did you do? What did you do, bro? Like, she's not, I don't know if she's actively out here pissing people off. I don't think so, right? But it keeps happening. Here's another clip. We'll play it. I'm very, this is curiosity. This is just very curiosity. I need to know what's
yes.
going on. Okay,
I
look at
wasn't
this
sure what to
objectively.
do about that,
I'm not
but then
going
I
to assume that
discovered
what she's
an
saying is
abandoned power
anything. I'm
source
just gonna
down
look
by
at
the
this
edge of the bay.
It's obvious. She's referring to your half-sunken Caprice 40.
Hear me out. Do you guys remember, like,
Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery.
Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Then you already know that the
This was
carriage itself is irreparable.
2010,
But the rear-mounted
2011.
engine seems to be
I
in
remember
fine
that.
working order. My intention is to run a power cable from the engine up to the antenna. It won't last forever, but it should give us enough time to establish a connection with Coalition Warship Archer.
dude, like, gift you free stuff, all this
That's
stuff.
up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically, and
I'm sorry.
mentally
Were we
prepare
living in
for
a
an
different
intense
timeline?
and
Was
difficult
this
process.
Was this her experience?
Once we begin,
Was this her
there can be no
experience in 2010
interruptions.
As a girl online.
At the very least,
2010
you should make sure you're
was one
wearing
of the
a good
worst,
pair of
toxic,
gloves.
most cancerous places to be when it
Radio
comes to
engineers
gaming,
typically
bro.
carry
Like,
overpriced
we
solvent
had
sprays to clean
words
the
that we do
antenna
not
connections.
longer any say
But in a
anymore, like the
pinch,
R word,
some common
that people
ammonia
would
works
throw
just fine.
around just like in normal gaming
to get
scenes.
ammonia
It
too?
was regular.
Finally,
That was
there's the
not
question
good
of
for
stimulants.
We had Call
Some
of Duty
people prefer
lobbies,
to
bro.
keep
If you
legal
had a
amphetamines
girl
on hand to
voice,
help with
okay,
their work.
you were
I'm not
getting-
one of
you
them,
were getting
but they do
cooked.
exist.
You were getting cooked, bro. And I know this because I used to be in the Call of Duty line. I'm not saying that I was the one cooking. I wasn't the one cooking. I was the one getting cooked.
I
You
don't
know, they
take
find
them
out
because
I was
they make
black,
me
bro, and
nauseous.
suddenly,
But
bam,
everyone
bam,
has
here
their
comes the
reasons.
racism, right?
I don't
You know?
judge.
I hit a little bit of, 1-2 back, hit him with the back with a, but that's how it was back in the day.
That's
how
fine.
it was 2010. Go
Return
back
to
even
me when
further,
you're
it
ready
was
to
even
go.
worse. So what do you mean 2010 was a time where women, like, is it some utopia for women?
Okay.
And they were getting
Get out of here.
gifts. That was
Well, first of all, I'm gonna put in my
remember this.
gloves.
I don't remember this, okay? I remember Super Smash Brothers.
Should I?
And for every 100 players that were out there in the tournaments, okay, not taking no showers, there was like 2 girls. 2 girls per 100 dudes, okay? Maybe they were getting gifts. Were they getting gifts? Because I don't remember. I don't recall, okay? I don't. No.
But nowadays, I feel like girls are a little bit scared to game online or to use their mic or whatever. Mac, can you give me something?
I got no silly intro for you today. What this lady's done just makes me furious, so I want to yap about it. Krishan Rock. Maybe you've heard her name, maybe you haven't. I'm pretty confident you've at least seen a couple of clips of hers because she has been
is this
addicted
about
to
the
social media attention for a while. So she constantly pops up on
A small
popular
cabinet on the
streamers'
wall is
streams to
filled
try
with
and
various
reach a
medicine
little bit
bottles,
of clout
nasal
for
sprays,
herself.
and blister
Personally,
packs.
I've always found her
They
to be
all
like a
bear
vibe
the
to
Saint
mentor
Baptiste
on stream where she
pharmaceutics
just
look.
sucks out
Okay,
all the fun
don't,
and all the
like,
life, leaving only
overdo it
misery
or
in
something.
its wake. But that's not the biggest deal in the world. There's plenty of people that are, vibe terrorists that just aren't super entertaining to watch. It's not like a crime. But what is a crime, at least should be, is the way that she handled her pregnancy. Krishan Rock loved to party. I say loved like it's past tense. I'm sure she still currently does. But while she was pregnant, she still didn't let that stop her. It wasn't an obstacle. She didn't pump the brakes because she's pregnant. She still went hog wild, partying, drinking, and smoking while pregnant. And this was shown multiple times on camera, just shamelessly drinking and smoking.
Yes,
while pregnant,
what is it?
which Everybody
Very
knows
good?
is really bad.
If you'll help me with
Baby.
some of this equipment then.
Back across the water now. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer, and if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
Oh my gosh. She asked for another bottle. I'm just saying, you can't have liquor? Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me. No, you should do it because it's cold. Fucking liquor.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice.
Let's go.
You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready? Then it will be exactly like every other moment of every other day. I ask again, are you ready? Good. Beginning transmission. Go ahead, officer.
Is there anybody there? The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. Nervous for who, though? You cannot say.
Try again, officer.
Nein, Liebling. Unseren Jungen nach Redeposten. Einem dieser Dinger. Marianne hat mir erzählt, dass Oskar nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Natürlich halten wir die Psychologen für vollkommen normal, aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish. The rustling of dry autumn leaves, waves breaking at a distance, 1,000 wings beating at once.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie.
Isn't that like my love, please? Liebling, bitte. Bitte is please. Liebling, I'm pretty sure is love. Ist unser einziges kein. I am something? Or you are? Kann doch auch nach Academy gehen. Okay, I'm not sure about that.
Crosstalk. In all likelihood, they can't hear you. You have to keep trying until we get a signal through.
Okay.
Again?
It's gone now.
Kim?
I didn't say anything, detective.
Oh, what the fuck? What?
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
The lieutenant seems to wince at the sound of his own voice.
I can't say with certainty, but it sounds very much like anthroponetic crosstalk.
I was gonna say.
It happens sometimes when sending transmissions across long stretches of pale.
Ah, yes, of course. That must be it.
Outwardly, they both exude calm, but there's something disturbing about this thought to both of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
Naturally, Halton stops in the psychology. Maybe you should try again later.
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
Coalition warship Archer, do you acknowledge this is Lieutenant Dubois?
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
When did he say that? Someone has been maintaining it. He said that when we were talking to him for sure. I just can't remember where. No. Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Acknowledge.
Archer.
Liebling, bitte. Ist unser einziges Kind.
Answer.
Where's she parte? Please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong.
What can we do?
I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult. We must consider several variables. Local anthroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Our transceiver is perfectly capable, so there is no problem there. And we're also unlikely to change our local anthroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections. You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
Okay.
But you don't have the technical expertise.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it.
That's true, but I can't leave my station, so it will have to be you.
Okay. I really want to save. I truly didn't expect this to be a whole thing. I thought it was like, okay, we try, and there's gonna be something else that stops us before we can actually do it, which I guess is happening, but oh God, Harry.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
God.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment.
I'm gonna
the
examine
connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years. The programmer mentioned ammonia, but anything alcoholic should dissolve the oils, creating a cleaner and clearer connection.
I do have some.
Almost immediately, the ammonia begins breaking down the oils around the copper wiring.
Glad that stuff came in handy after all.
Huh? Very good, officer.
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach the cable.
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation.
So...
Unser einziges Kind. Kann auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen. Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen. Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the warship signal and eliminate the crosstalk. And if you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse.
Okay.
What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually.
And you want me to do that?
I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
Okay.
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Okay, let's examine everything first.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. Not intentionally. It's a matter of perspective. The king was never meant to be seen from such an angle as you've attained.
That's fair.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider. The sky is opaque with dark clouds. Snow spirals all around you. You turn to the east, but the visibility is quite poor. You see no sign of Coalition warship Archer, though you know it can't be too far away. A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging. She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Oh, man. Am I gonna die? I have a feeling.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling!
No, love.
What are you doing? The connection is even worse now. This is extremely unprofessional. But you didn't. You made things worse.
She's right. This was your responsibility.
Damn it. I'm going to push the power supply. I doubt it will last more than a few minutes, so you'd better make them count.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting, mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit auf einem Luftschiff aus Grad zurückgekommen ist.
Grad.
Lieutenant Dubois, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then, nothing.
Try it now.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is the best we can do. I suggest you get to your business quickly. I doubt I'll be able to maintain even this connection very long.
There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request? A very important question with a very simple answer. We want humanity to endure. Beyond that, it may be said that we are the inheritors and stewards of Dolores Day's legacy. immeasurable. It includes interstellar travel, 3 scientific revolutions, humanism, internationalism, the welfare state, and balance of terror theory. Nothing less than the intellectual foundation of our modern order. The role of the Moralist International is twofold: to buy humanity sufficient time to perfect itself, and to patiently guide it along the road while protecting it from ideological highwaymen and eschatologists. It was established by many of the same founding party members who elected Dolores Day, and who, after her assassination, dedicated their lives to the continuation of their political and intellectual projects. It's an elegant idea, one of the cornerstones of the modern era. In short, it holds that durable, lasting peace is possible when the major powers are capable of inflicting unacceptable and irreversible destruction upon one another. Because no rational state is willing to accept the risk of such a calamity befalling its own people. All powers are incentivized to de-escalate conflicts before they reach the point of no return. For the most part, it has. The world is certainly not free of violent conflict, but in the modern era, we have made great strides to reduce its frequency, duration, and severity. There are many. The communists say they are the next dialectical step in an inexorable spiral of progress. They claim to have resolved the inherent contradictions of moralism, and believe they're just one revolution away from establishing a humanist paradigm. The fascists say they are both the ancestors of and the successors to the Loyalism. In other words, they believe that Dolores Day's reign simply represents a glorious phase of expansion within a greater Franco-Nigerian heritage. They criticize the DeLorean project for accepting and integrating new peoples rather than forcefully subjugating them. And then, there are our prodigal cousins, the Vazan Social Democrats, who hold our same values and have even adopted many of our same rights and iconography, though they persist in rejecting the umbrella of moralism.
For some reason, it's the Social Democrats she sounds most exasperated with.
We don't resent them. It's more that we are disappointed that they have chosen to emphasize certain points of dispute over broad areas of accord.
She speaks of them like a family member she's abandoned hope of ever maturing.
But of course, they also remain dependable partners in a number of centrist governing coalitions. The RCM exists under the umbrella of the coalition, just as the coalition exists under the umbrella of the Moralientas. At the same time, the RCM is not exactly of the coalition. We are not that familiar with RCM lore and practice, but we believe that may be the case. As we recall, the decomptage originated with the Revacholian commune itself.
There is some truth to that.
But in a practical sense, it's the responsibility of the ethics division to ensure that both organizations are working towards the same ends.
What is happening, guys?
Because the coalition has no interest in running Revachol. We'll succeed in our own mission the moment Revachol rejoins the international community as a sovereign democracy. The RCM is an integral piece of that project. Let us answer your question with a question. Have you ever seen evening fall over the old town of Atvesterashit? The heart of the city, the old town, is a district composed of weathered marble, comprising thousands of columns and arcades arranged around a series of grand plazas. During the day, it's a beautiful sight, equal to any of the great cities of Pericarnassus. But as the sun sets, the shadows cast by those columns and arcades weave together to form an intricate ombre lattice. When you see it, you suddenly understand. It was all built for you, for this very moment.
The name Ad Vesperascit means evening comes.
By thousands of people over many centuries, in keeping with a precise plan each believed in, but never expected to see the final completion of. Not only that, but you are also part of that centuries-long plan. When you cross one of the open plazas, your own shadows is effortlessly woven into the great lattice work, a deliberate synthesis of humanity, art, and the natural world. Yes, it is. We grew up there. We have seen the lattice with our own eyes. She was. There are even those who say that Ad Vesperascit summoned Dolores Day, or that it was built in preparation for her, centuries before her arrival. That's why the old town is sometimes called the ceremonial heart of humanity. Of course, such a city does not spring from nowhere, nor does it endure without effort. Its construction was the work of many generations, and its preservation is an equally monumental responsibility.
The wind is pulling at the giant tarps that cover the blasted facade of the Capeside apartments. A moment of hissing static as the conversation lulls.
Lieutenant Dubois, are you still there?
I'm not joking, officer. I'll only be able to hold the signal open for a few more moments. What you came here to ask it now.
Is everything all right? We can assure you, it is coming as soon as possible. Oh, most likely. Though, of course, it depends on the contingency. You must understand, the Moral Inter is responsible for ensuring the continuance and flourishing of mankind for the next 3,000 years. The planning division must account for a great many possible outcomes and chance events. Fortunately, we have contingency spreads to help guide our decision-making. Of course, there is no one spread that can reasonably account for all these possible events. But at least, we are able to prepare for the most likely eventualities. It's not really our area of expertise, but we can try to explain. Picture a smooth hill made from fresh dirt. Now, if you stand atop this hill and put a glass of water over it, what will happen? Precisamente. We know only that it will run down, but not what course it will take. If we place a rock in the water's path, will it divert to the left or to the right? We cannot say, but we may predict which way it might run in either event. That is the essence of the idea. You might also imagine these spreads as a kind of tree, with every juncture representing a different event, and every branch representing a different timeline. Not exactly. No one can know the future. But with contingency spreads, it is possible to predict what the future realities might reasonably look like.
Meaning, there are more and less reasonable futures. You should follow up on that.
But we shouldn't overstate their importance. They are simply one of many tools used by the Moral Intern to set policy. Well, yes, just as some events are less probable than others. While we expect the vast majority of realities will fall within a normal confidence interval, there must necessarily be some that fall outside that range as well. Who are we to say? We are only a psychic signaler, not a metaphysician. This is the only reality we have ever known. So, how can we judge how reasonable it might be compared to any other? The key, we believe, is to be open to meaning, even amidst great uncertainty. But now, we are only speaking for ourselves. That's impossible to say. It may be that Revachol has a great role to play, or no role at all. That is the nature of contingency. You must understand, when we speak of contingency spreads, we are talking about the most fantastically complex data visualization human beings are capable of producing, with thousands of events, from elections and wars to natural disaster or scientific miracles, and millions of possible outcomes.
It makes your brain swell just to think about it.
It may be the case that, under certain scenarios, Revachol is vitally important, as it was during the collision landings in 08. It may also be the case, in many other equally plausible scenarios, that Revachol is simply another once great city, like countless others throughout history. Perhaps, perhaps not. The world is full of great cities that have resolved the questions of their time. La Chère, Brentford, our own home of Advesperashit.
All major cities in EPIS-aligned nations. You can't help but notice.
It's even possible the cities that will resolve the questions of the future have not been founded yet. For this reason, responsibility for developing contingency spreads is only assigned to highly trained analysts working with advanced radio computers and a steady supply of drones. Of course, while the content of individual contingency spreads is deeply classified, many degrees beyond our access, everything we have heard from the Provisional Commission indicates that the transition is proceeding according to the appropriate timetable. Well, not yet. Right now, it's more like a simple seed, buried out of sight. The first phase of democratization. Soon, the people of Revachol will vote for slates of candidates who will make up the Transitional Advisory Council that will oversee the second phase of democratization. The council is modeled after similar bodies developed in a number of transitional democracies. Its role is to devise and shape the future institutions of Revacholian democracy, according to local conditions.
Local conditions, in this case, referring to incompetence, graft, and violence.
Once elected, council members will even have the opportunity to join one of several officially sanctioned political wings, depending on their ideological beliefs and policy preferences. A very important question. The wings are carefully selected to represent a wide spectrum of political thought. Typically, there's a liberal technocratic wing, a social democratic wing, and even a conservative populist wing. You wouldn't believe some of the ideas they express, but a vibrant and free political culture requires that all perspectives be given voice, even those many may find objectionable. In most cases, the Provisional Council selects them from a cross-section of the local population to ensure the slates actually reflect the people they represent. Of course, such a situation is not ideal. We would all prefer for Revacholians to nominate the representatives directly, but that is why it's a transitional council. Our best theoreticians believe that 3 to 5 phases are appropriate for states that lack strong democratic traditions, which would certainly apply to Revachol. But we must stress that real democracy is an ongoing process and not simply an outcome. It must be cultivated and preserved if it is to endure. Exactamente.
It's been a long winter, long and cold.
Be advised, officer. The signal is liable to fail any moment now.
Lieutenant Dubois, are you there? Lieutenant Dubois, please repeat. Your signal is very weak.
Ich kann doch auch nächstes Jahr sagen.
Nothing important. Bad connection. Going to update the receiver frequency.
And the line goes quiet. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. He looks up at you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
There's a damp cold running up the insides of your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the programmer have begun disconnecting a few cables. There's really no point. You're beginning to feel like the little child who refuses to come down off the carousel.
Good. Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Oh my god, what was that?
Well, this was an interesting collaboration. Really? I do not think we were all that successful. But maybe the RCM has a different definition of success. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares. Now, you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my homework.
Oh, man.
Yes? What about me? No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is... It's like you're locked down. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control.
Good. Let's check.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and alright. Maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships. Oblivion's the ace in your corner. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. It's cold outside, and you can hear the wind blowing into the speaker. There's the static again, whispering like a seashell pressed against the air.
Yes, hello. This
is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order? My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice again.
Wait, is she...
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Is this some kind of joke? The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and echoing in the box.
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean. It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget about you.
And then it hits you. She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs sound old and distant, as if her voice is being played off a wax cylinder. Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going. A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. The static is like a warm blanket wrapped around the sounds. No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before. Glorious and total somehow, crawling inside your head. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So... it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve. I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Maybe sometime later. Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
That is true.
I should go to sleep.